Boogie's album, Artist, from 2016 is culturally iconic. Its raw and authentic sound sets it apart from his newer albums. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I really do wish that Boogie would go back to that sound, and I have plenty of fond memories bumping it back in high school. So today I'm going to be breaking down 3 beats I made from scratch, and I'm going to be breaking down how to capture that raw and somewhat nostalgic sound from Artist. So let's get right into it. For the first beat, I took inspiration from one of the most iconic songs on the album, D.T.B.
Fountain, leave that little nigga somewhere in the mountains. But now I'm like, what the fuck, nigga? I love money, I don't love bitches.
So for my melody, I started with these piano chords. The piano I'm using is actually from my Canvas analog lab bank, and I layered the 2 pianos in there, the smooth upright and the soft grand. Here's the effect chain for the pianos. I routed and all the melodies to this effect chain. Next thing I added was this top piano. Next thing I added was this bass. The bass I used is also from the Canvas analog lab bank. After that, I added this lead melody on top. As you can see, I used slide notes. That gives it a lot more emotion. The sound I used is this lead one shot called Harsh, also from Canvas. Here's the effect chain for that lead. Next thing I added was this synth pad, similar to the one you hear in D.T.B. And here's the effect chain for that. And to start the drums, I layered these 2 percussion loops from Canvas on top of each other. After that, I added this simple rim shot I got from Splice. And this open hat, also from Splice. This other open hat, this is from my Digital Romance drum kit. Finally, I wrapped it up with these kicks and hi-hats. The second beat I made was inspired by one of my favorite songs on the album, Money Over Everything.
Give a fuck about no shorty, it's just me and all my homies. Why the fuck would I be worried? I spent 30 on my rollie, nigga, that's curry.
So I started with these keys that are heavily inspired by the chords that you hear throughout the song. Probably one of my favorite parts of the song. For the piano, I used the smooth upright again, and I layered it with these wind chimes from Expand 2. Here's the preset in Expand. I routed both of those and all the melodies to this reverb and delay bus. Next, I added this bass. This is another one shot from my Canvas multi-kit. After that, I added this lead melody. The lead I used is this Magic preset from my Canvas analog lab bank as well. All I did in terms of effects for that lead is put on this delay. And to wrap up the melody, I added this synth phrase, also from Canvas. For the drums, the first thing I added was this clap, also from my Digital Romance drum kit. And and I put this reverb on the clap, similar to the clap that you hear in Money Over Everything, has a lot of reverb on it too. Then I layered that with this snare. This is also from the Digital Romance drum kit. You could hear this technique of layering the snare with the clap and having the ghost snares play on their own in Money Over Everything too. Next, I added this simple kick pattern. I added this hi-hat. These are also from the Digital Romance drum kit. As you can see, I added a lot of stutters. You hear that in Money Over Everything too. Finally, I wrapped the beat up with this open hat that hits on every first and third beat, similar to the one you hear in Money Over Everything. The last beat, I took inspiration from 100, one of my favorite songs on the album too.
100, 100, keep it 100. 100, 100, keep it 100. 100, 100, keep it 100. 100, 100, keep it 100.
I started with these piano chords. For the piano, I used this natural grand piano preset in Expand 2. And then I added this preset similar to the sign that you hear in 100. This is another one shot from Canvas. And this is the effect bus that I routed all the melodies to. Next thing I added was this ARP-y type of melody inspired by the ARP that you hear in 100. This is another one shot from Canvas. I think what makes this melody and the melody that you hear in 100 really catchy is the repeating notes. Here's the effect chain for the ARP. After that, I added this synth bass. As you can hear, those slide notes add a lot of character to it. That was kind of like my own twist on it. This is also a one shot from Canvas. Then the last thing I added for the melody was this lead. This is the preset I used. It's from Purity. Here's the effect chain for the lead. Next thing I added was this 808. What's interesting about this is it's not following the root notes of the melody. In the song, you hear a similar thing with the 808 where it's just hitting on one note. That kind of adds some tension to it, but you got to make sure you choose the right note or it will sound off. Also, for this technique, you kind of also want to use a shorter 808. So I added this 808 from my Digital Romance drum kit and I brought the out knob up just to make it a little shorter. Next thing I added was these two snaps. That's also from Digital Romance. Then I added this interesting open hat pattern. Next, I added this kick. And I layered this clap on top of the snaps. Finally, I wrapped the beat up with these hi-hats.